evening. Our top story this week. In Massachusetts, CPS boss Olga Roach offers to quit in light of her failure as a leader, but the governor refuses to accept her resignation. And a judge grants additional state funds for another psychological evaluation of a mother regarding the missing boy who started the recent media circus against the state's child protective industry. In Illinois, it is revealed that the state's new CPS boss once stole little old lady's Social Security money while working for a social services agency. In Kansas, a child welfare agency is against a bill that would allow parents and teachers to spank kids so hard that it would leave bruises. In North Carolina, a state report is showing all kinds of problems at the child protective industry, including high turnover rates and lots of emotional stress on the poor, overworked CPS agents. And in Arizona, the state Senate passes a bill that requires an outside review of that state's child protective industry. In Texas, state senators are questioning the child protective industry's reform efforts after a spike in the number of kids dying in foster care. In Pennsylvania, it is now illegal to make a false accusation of child abuse. Pennsylvania's foster care alumni are speaking out after being drugged while in care. And a professor from George Washington University Law School wants to take away parental rights from smokers, even ones who don't smoke, in the presence of the children. In Utah, teens in foster care are fighting for a normalcy law because they can't even do things like go on school trips without going through a bureaucratic process to get permission. In the past 2 decades, the number of American children diagnosed with ADHD has risen more than 70%, and it is now believed that the reasons that so many of them are being drugged is so that schools can get better standardized test scores. And in Oklahoma, more than 125 DHS employees have been fired, suspended, or demoted during 2013 for various infractions, including one where a CPS agent snatched the wrong baby from a daycare. In China, a new baby shelter collects more than 80 babies within the first 2 weeks of being open. In the Ukraine, an American couple is stuck there with their 4 adopted kids who they can't bring home without the final paperwork, which they can't get because the government offices are shut down due to all of the violence in the area. In Scotland, plans to give every child a social worker to ensure their welfare until the age of 18 is going forward, despite all the opposition and invasiveness. And in Australia, CPS agents are separating so many sibling groups that advocates are calling it a new stolen generation. In Canada, the guardian of a British Columbia boy is suing after a kid was zapped by police with a taser while in foster care, leaving the poor kid traumatized. And a 21-month-old from Alberta died from a lack of oxygen and not child abuse, according to an expert who is testifying on behalf of the foster parent who was accused of killing her. In England, it is said that children being separated in foster care or through adoption goes against the basic principles of social work, although British social workers do it regularly. And a long-serving British social worker gets struck off of the register due to his sexual interest in young girls. In Arizona this week, a butt-ugly CPS agent gets busted for trying to buy heroin from an undercover cop who she thought she was investigating for child abuse. In California, a former foster parent who likes having sex with children is now suspected of molesting another. A California foster mother gets 25 to life for fatally beating a 2-year-old who she was caring for. And in North Carolina, a judge throws out the rape charges against a CPS agent. In Ohio, a CPS agent gets busted for downloading and sharing child porn. In Texas, a foster parent is found not guilty of sexually molesting a child who was in his care. Another Texas foster home is under investigation after twin 6-week-old babies were found with broken bones and bruises. And in Michigan, a doctor is accusing the child protective industry of failing to investigate child abuse allegations that he made. In Nevada, a second family court marshal gets fired for groping a fellow court marshal. The Service Employees Union in Nevada is suing the child protective industry for not giving a hotline answering CPS agent his job back after he was fired as a scapegoat when they failed to protect a kid. In Massachusetts, a real father is facing contempt charges for speaking out against the child protective industry regarding the poor care and injustice of his special needs daughter. A Massachusetts foster parent is still caring for children even after a CPS agent accused him of sexual harassment and said she feared for her life because he had guns. And finally, tonight, in Arizona, a foster care provider is bitching because CPS agents dropped 4 kids off at his door and then disappeared off the face of the earth without paying him or anything. For these stories and all the latest dirt on the child protective industry, visit www.legallykidnapped.com. And until next week, this is Baby LK, over and out.